It's time to welcome the Wine Ladies with Georgia and Suzanne. An entertaining hour topped up with great ideas about wine, where to dine, anything and everything to do with the vine. Great conversation, lots of laughter, guests from all walks of life, food and wine, music, art, sports, and much more, all on the Wine Ladies.
Hi everybody, it's us the Wine Ladies.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Suzanne, and welcome to the Wine Ladies, one sip at a time.
We are so happy that you're able to join us once again. Now, Suzanne and I are very excited about today's show and also very excited about the very distinguished guests that we have joining us here today. Now, on May 11th, there is going to be a spectacular event that is going to be taking place in Toronto. Amazing wines, amazing food, fantastic varied entertainment, and best of all, for a great cause.
Now, we're going to be going there, and we will be filming our show right there on location. And it is the first annual Interactive Chef's Night.
Right.
It is for the ProAction Cops and Kids charity. It's going to be a fantastic night. Okay, joining us this afternoon is the Chief of Toronto Police. We've got William Blair, and he has quite the distinguished career. He started off as an officer on the beat over 30 years ago. He has had all kinds of accolades, and he in fact was awarded the Officer of the Order of Merit for the police forces in 2007.
We have a celebrity chef with us as well, who is going to be doing his thing at the event, and you guys know him from his appearances on Restaurant Makeover. He's also the owner of the at Evergreen Brickworks, the Cafe Belong and Belong Catering. Brad Long is with us. So Brad, wonderful to have you here.
Oh, cheers. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you guys, and like I was saying, Suzanne and I are thrilled with this event that's going to be coming up. Maybe we should sort of tell everybody a little bit about the basic details in case they want to mark it in their calendars.
May 11th, you got to be there.
May 11th, 6 o'clock. Great food stations. They have a lot of different programs that they're doing that involve the kids, which makes it so different. So maybe, Chief, you can tell us a little bit about ProAction Cops and Kids.
Really what we're trying to do is I think every young person in this city should have the opportunity to know and trust a cop. And that doesn't necessarily happen when we're just interacting with them on the street or at a crisis or at a crime scene.
Well, you see a uniform and you're a little nervous.
Well, of course,
you don't really know.
But when our police officers get an opportunity to engage in a sporting activity or a cultural activity, an arts program, a cooking program, a camping program, with these young people, it gives us an opportunity to build a relationship of trust and mutual respect that really does make it better for those young people if they ever need a cop, if they ever need a little support, a little protection, a little information, mentorship, or even just a friend. I want them to have access to one of the men and women, the fine men and women of my service. And when we build those relationships, we make their communities safer places.
And I think, that's really, really important, is developing that sense of trust. Because a lot of people, a lot of the kids, when they're on the street, they're kind of scared of the police officers.
Of course they are.
It's a scary thing
Well,
sometimes.
a police officer rolls up and asks, who are you, where do you live, what are you doing here? A lot of kids might be frightened. They might be a little intimidated by that, and they might be concerned about, how they're being viewed.
Do wrong.
Absolutely. Well, it's such a human thing. And we know that the overwhelming majority of kids in this city are great kids. They're fabulous kids, and they're going to be great citizens. So when we want to make sure that when we interact with them, that they know that we're there to support them and to help them. And when we are able to build those relationships, so we've got police officers in schools and in communities and in community centers, and we invest a lot of our time, not just their working time, but I have to tell you, so many of my officers volunteer their time, develop programs where they go out and they're coaches for sporting teams, they're working with young people, they take them off on their weekends off on various camping trips. We do a ton of things with young people in the city just to build that relationship. My officers know that they need to be known and trusted by those young people if we're going to be successful in helping them be good citizens and help keep them safe.
How do you decide which programs to fund?
You see, that's one of the interesting things about ProAction. ProAction does the fundraising. For my officers, they're busy out in the street, and we want them working and engaging with young people. We're so blessed in this city that we have a remarkable group of citizens who help raise the money through their own generosity and special events, like the upcoming dinner. They raise the money that make it possible for these programs to take place. When my officers want to have a program with young people, and they see an opportunity and are willing to give of themselves to bring kids together in a positive way, then they'll make an application through to ProAction. ProAction has an evaluation team. If it meets their criteria, and they've always been tremendously generous in their support, then they will fund that program. And they do more than just write the check. They help connect us with other organizations that can help us to help make those programs successful. And you know, they've got a great team of people, and they work out of our headquarters, but they're not part of our service. They're a community organization, and they make it possible for so many of these programs to work. What a difference it makes.
Well, I know that we have a segment coming up after we speak with you gentlemen, and that is with Cooking with Cops. And Officer Candy is actually going to come on, and she's one of the ones that have developed this program and runs it, I guess, like 6 weeks at a time. So she's going to be coming on with one of her graduates or one of her students.
Brad might have a run for his money. I don't know, Brad.
So it'll be interesting to talk to her, and that's a lot of time she puts into that. I was talking to her before the show.
But you know, I think it's so great that we've got police officers who are innovative in their thinking, and they may have a strong interest, as Candy does, in cooking, and that she can share that with young people and find a common ground, a place where they can connect.
Awesome.
And a place where they can connect. It's in a non-threatening situation. It's not out on the street. It gives them an opportunity to spend some time to get to know each other, and the young people learn a skill. They learn a life skill that's going to make them more successful in life. I think those types of programs are inspiring to me.
I've got police officers
to
do this. Don't you feel the passion?
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah. And what talk about a wonderful skill to have, of course, is being great in the kitchen. Of course, here we have one of the finest in Canada. So, Brad, why don't you tell us a little bit? I know you're going to be there cooking up. What are you going to be doing that evening? I know you're going to be cooking up something special. If this is an indication, woo, I'm going to hang out at your station.
Well, first I shouldn't mention that, you know, chef is just French for chief.
I was just going to...
Oh, we have a little competition going on
I should
here.
introduce myself as chef de police.
And you also mentioned, you know, cooking with kids is, you know, I mean, getting the skill and a trade is great, but food actually is a big part of their focus and culture too. You know, you move to a city, very often from another country or even from the country, you sometimes lose some of the things you would normally eat, which is part of your culture, which is part of the stability of your family, and knowing how to cook and knowing how to do, I guess, the best thing with the ingredients you have for energy. Kids, I've got 5. They burn.
Oh, you have 5 kids?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And I can't...
You do more than just cook.
Well, mostly cook. No, that takes moments. The rest of it is all food, just generating food all the time.
Well, this is beautiful what you prepared here. Is this going to be like a little bit of what we might expect to have on the night of the 11th?
Parts. I mean, this is actually something that I think that's a good cross-section of a lot of things we do in the restaurant, because there's, you know, canned, jarred, pickled things that we do seasonally, and there's also different types of cured meats. We do a lot of butchery, and I have a lot of kids that we're trying to teach how to, you know, if nothing else, not waste. Use all the parts of
looks like a flower here that you've created.
Well, there's something here you were saying, you were pointing this out with the garlic, that in former times, we throw them out, and now you guys have realized, hey, no, this is edible and just as good.
There's a lot of things that we have, I guess, forgotten to eat. You know, and scapes are one of them. That's just part of the process of growing garlic. You have to cut that off in order to force all of the plant's energy down into the bulb, so that you get those beautiful cloves.
So this
but
is
they're
the
still
right
tasty,
here, right?
and that, And so we waste a lot of parts of an animal. We waste a lot of parts of the crops. We waste a lot of parts of just our natural foods. I went foraging with a gentleman named Jonathan Forbes, who's also one of my suppliers, and I was going with him because I wanted to find fiddleheads. So, you know, I'm looking around and trying to...
They should be coming up soon.
Yeah, but we stepped into the forest, and he just starts pointing, you can eat that, you can eat that, here, try this, taste that. It was like walking into a grocery store, and I had no idea. And this is something I'm, you know, fascinated by, and I still didn't have the level of knowledge that someone, and he learned, like, he's got a few years on me, and he learned this from his mother. We're talking about something that's only passed out of knowledge by 2 or 3 generations.
Well, I remember we used to go with our grandmother. We grew up actually in the suburbs of Montreal. Remember, we used to go with our grandmother mushroom picking. And I've never done that with my kids, but it's interesting.
Well, it can be scary too.
You don't know. enough
It's
about
true. I don't know which one is the right mushroom, but that's another story for another show.
Yeah, you can get real dizzy or dead.
Well, I think we should celebrate the event with a glass of sparkling wine from Peller Estates.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, Peller are going to be providing all of the wines. They're the sole, I think, provider for that evening. And we've actually brought in about 6 different wines from Peller Estates. And we brought in this one. We thought we would start off with this one. It's the Ice Cuvée. It's a sparkling wine done like in a traditional method. And then it's got a slight bit of a Vidal ice wine dosage added to it. So it adds like that little touch of sweetness. And it is absolutely delightful. Everybody be careful. You know what? The wonderful thing about it, it's a great wine to start off with, to have throughout the meal, and then to finish off the meal. So Brad, you can attest to that. I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful things you've been making, or you will, that would go great with this.
Well, actually, the wines of Ontario and the foods of Ontario, which is kind of where I spill out of Ontario sometimes too, but
We have
our
some
wines and
wonderful
our
wines.
foods match, and they're gorgeous, and I highly recommend
And they have a
them.
spectacular chef there at Peller Estates, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, I've had dinner down there. That's a remarkable
Isn't it
facility.
gorgeous?
It's amazing.
Their
Yeah.
tasting menu.
Thank you very much.
Jason Parsons is fabulous also. We have to say, another notch, another great chef. Now, Chief, are we allowed to have a little, this is just a taste, so is that permitted?
Yes, we'll be fine, but I have to officially declare myself off duty, so I'll do that right now.
Oh, okay, there we go. All right. Well, we're on duty,
It's
so,
all for a
so we
good
have to
cause
drink.
anyways.
I like my job better. Just kidding.
We'll have a little toast.
There we go. So this is the beautiful, beautiful wine. I think it sells for about $31, $32. Well worth every penny.
Well, cheers
So
to
cheers.
a successful evening
Cheers.
on May the 11th, and we're very excited to be part of it, and all for a wonderful cause. And
Thank you for supporting
Thank
it.
you so much for coming
pleasure.
in here this afternoon, gentlemen, for joining us here on the Wine Ladies, one sip at a time.
To a great night. And to raising lots and lots of money for this fantastic cause.
Thank you.
No, cheers.
Isn't that delightful? It's delightful. Just that little bit of sweetness to it. Oh, I love that. Kind of got a bit of toasty, appley kind of taste to it. It's absolutely delicious. So we might want to talk about one other wine, if we can just take a moment for that as well. We brought a white wine in, and I don't know, Brad or Chief, if you've ever had a chance to try the Peller.
Chief.
Chief and Chief,
Sounds like you and you.
you can both answer in unison if you like. Chief or Chef, what is it? The eye is missing? Is that what the only difference is? So this is their Chardonnay sur Lie, and this is. Have you ever tried this wine? It's absolutely delicious. Also sells, I think, for about $31, $32. And I thought maybe we could give this one a toast. What would you say would go good with this, Brad? Let's give it a shot, and then you can tell us.
Do you mean specifically sitting in front of you?
We could certainly go that way, because I know I'm going to dig into that as soon as this segment is over.
The cured fish should be a natural hit, but I tend to take responsibility for seasoning the food. You should be able to drink whatever you want with most things. So hopefully if I balance that right, it should not hurt the wine.
Okay, perfect.
People always think the wine should go with the food, but I think that the food should be adjusted to the wine as much as possible.
The food adjusted to the wine,
so
okay.
Well,
So the wine comes first, and then the food.
I can't manipulate the wine, but I can manipulate
That's
the seasoning
true.
on the
That's
food.
a good way of looking at it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. If you want to finish that off, I don't want to rush you, but I do want you to try this wonderful, the fantastic Chardonnay.
Are you supposed to ask me to slam my drink down?
There you go.
I always thought wine should be matched with the company.
That's a better way of doing it, to be honest, yes.
So this is their 2009 Chardonnay sur Lie. Absolutely wonderful as well.
I have to say, I've had a number of different, I've been invited on a number of different
TV shows?
TV shows, and I've never been treated as well as this.
Well, if we had more time, we have another 4 or 5 wines to go through, but we'll have to save that for another day, for next year, for when we have you on for next year.
Very nice.
Isn't that
Very
delicious?
nice. Yes, it is.
Yeah. And they were also going to be serving, like, these are wonderful wines actually that you guys have lined up for the night. They have a beautiful Pinot Noir, they have their Merlot, they have Cabernet Franc, which they do absolutely beautifully, and then a Gewürztraminer as well. That's going to go nicely with some of the spicier dishes, I guess, that you guys have there. So wonderful selection of wines from Peller Estates. So we're excited about having that with all the wonderful food. There's also a bunch of programs, I think, that are going on that day that are like, aren't the program there with the children and a couple of the officers doing like a music segment, an art segment?
Our people are involved in so many different programs, and what we find is so many of the generous people that support ProAction, they're very practical people too, and they like to see a visual demonstration of where their money is going and the return on the investment that they're making in our city. And so we're bringing some of our officers and the young people they've been working with down to that meeting, and I know the people that attend that always enjoy speaking to those kids, speaking to those officers, and seeing how they connect together. And so I think that'll be a lot of fun that evening.
Oh, for sure. Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, I think that we are ready to speak with Candy and one of the graduates of her class.
Alexis.
So, Alexis, yeah. So, a toast again, gentlemen.
Ladies,
and we'll see you on the 11th.
Cheers.
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 Again.
Look at
Best.
So we are very, very pleased now to welcome Constable Candy Graham, and also we have Alex Rio here. And so Candy is one of the officers that has developed and now is running her own program under the Cops and Kids, and it's called Cooking with Cops.
Yes.
And we've heard so many wonderful things about it, Candy. So thank you for coming here, and Alex, thank you for coming in. So Candy, tell us a little bit about your Cooking with Cops program.
Well, it's the second year now running, so I'm a school resource officer at Bishop Morocco Thomas Merton, and when I started the school and I was patrolling the halls, I saw all the kids with their different takeout everywhere, right? And the school itself, they don't have a home ec program anymore like they did when I went to school, and I thought, you know what, it's kind of a lost art. Kids learning to cook, and everybody's fast food this and fast food that, pop it in the microwave, and I thought, you know what, I like to cook, and I'd been doing a basketball program through ProAction for 5 years prior to that, so because I coach basketball as well, and I thought, you know what, I wanted to do something just for girls, so I thought, let me, because I coach guys, right? I coach male youth, so I thought, let me do something for girls and switch it up a bit. So then that was the intention initially, but then I had male students in the school say, yo, miss, like, how come I can't cook too? And I thought, we gotta eat, what's going on? It's sexist. And I'm just like, oops.
Don't know what happened. Lost the mic. It's live, people. Yeah, so I just said open door policy. Come on in. So now it's awesome. I have on average 20 kids a week that come to my program, and we do different stuff from baking to cooking pastas and stuff. We've barbecued. We'll do like party food and have like, just this past week actually we did a movie night. So we cooked all the appetizer food, and then we went and watched a movie and pigged out together. It was
So what do you think the kids get out of that? Like, is it that the actual cooking skills, or the social interaction, or what do you think the?
You know what? It's everything, right? Like they really like learning how to cook. Some of them don't have any experience. Some of them have some experience, and some of them come from different cultures too, right? So I'm just teaching them how I was taught by my grandmother and my mom and dad, and it's just easy, basic, good old-fashioned food, right? So they really like it. And whatever they make, they take home after. And then
that's awesome.
There's always about 30 kids that hang out and they're dancing and stuff after, so they're always in and out. What's for today, miss? And so then we feed them too. It's huge, yeah. So we feed everybody. We don't care.
That's great. So is there like is there a waiting list, or like how do the kids get to be part of your program?
Well, last year when I first started it, I advertised the program just by making announcements and stuff, and I talked to kids in the hall, and I say, like Alexia, I'd said, hey, you want to come out to my cooking program and start a program? And she's like, yeah, I like food. And I'm like, great, come on out.
Food. That's the only requirement. You have to like
Everybody
food.
likes food, right? Like, it's not a bad thing. So, and then this year when I was starting it, as soon as school came back, a lot of kids in the hallways were asking me if I'm doing the cooking program again, when it's starting.
Level 1, level 2?
Oh, it's ridiculous. ridiculous. Like I had like 50 kids want to do it this year. So so this year, because I only have 2 stoves too, right? Like it's a bit challenging.
Where do you do the class? Is it
I do it in the kitchen at the school.
Oh, at the school.
Yeah, so it's an after-school program.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's kind of cool because the teachers, I tell them I've got 20 kids on average every week, and they're just flabbergasted. They're like,
That's a lot. Wow.
yeah, the kids committed to a program. What's that? So,
what was your experience in the course?
Well, we usually meet after school, and again, like since Officer Candy said, like we don't have 3 stoves anymore. Like we only have 2, so we all have to like fight to get the heater. But once we do,
Learn to share.
we learn to share.
Or maybe you do sushi on the other. I don't know.
Yeah. So once we do have the heater and like once we do have the food prepared and stuff, we we sit in the cafeteria and we just eat it. We socialize, and it's really a lot of fun.
So have you learned a lot of good skills, do you think, since you've been in the program?
Well, I've learned how to redefine my skills, essentially. Like, I used to cut things wrong, or I used to prepare things wrong, and then after the cooking program, like, I redefined certain aspects of my cooking skills.
Yeah.
So, essentially, it did help me to, fix those mistakes up.
Yeah, because I guess you become more efficient.
Yeah.
You know, like you work faster, more efficiently. You probably, do you find that you use more foods now that you may otherwise not have ever thought of using?
Yeah, it's like just last week.
The light falls off over here, the cell phone goes off over here. What do you
Internet television.
it's real TV, baby.
Yeah, exactly. So life goes on. Okay, sorry, Alex.
Sorry, what was the question?
That threw me off too. What was my question?
About learning new stuff for.
Yeah, like I do use some new foods. Like she brought fish oil to
Fish sauce. We did
Yeah, fish
Baja shrimp soft tacos, and so
Yeah.
we did it with like a sort of Thai twist to it. So I brought in the fish sauce, and they were like, but I'm like, trust me.
Yeah, it actually really is, and I find I've been using a lot of it lately since that class.
Insistent friend.
So now you guys are going to Alex, are you going to be at the event as well? Because I know Ken, you're going to be there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the event.
Yeah?
I'm actually looking forward to it.
Are you going to be cooking or are you gonna be
Hopefully.
eating or both? A little both.
A little bit of both.
And what have you got planned for the event, Candy?
Well, should we really tell them, or should we just make them buy a ticket and come on out?
Make them buy a ticket.
yes,
You're a smart marketer. Excellent.
It's gonna be great. That's all I know.
And also the location where the event is taking place is awesome. It's at the Evergreen Bricks, and apparently part of it is going to be happening outside, and it's absolutely stunning at this time. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful evening on May 11th.
We're very excited.
We are too. Really
And for
excited.
tickets, you go to copsandkids.ca. And I think there's just a few tickets left. I know they're almost sold out, so don't delay.
All right, well, we want to thank you so much, Candy.
Thank you so much.
And also, Alex, for coming in and for sharing your story. And congratulations to you and kudos to you
thank
for
you.
spending all that time of yourself for the kids. I think it's very, very admirable.
Thanks. It's really worth it.
Okay, well, we'll see you on May 11th.